Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Hoop and Harm, where we go over the best part of basketball season for some, which is the off season. For others, it is very painful. And the KD trade did happen, and we are going to respond to the KD trade. Obviously, me as a Suns fan, I think it's important that we wait for my reaction until we go over the details and look at it from Houston's perspective. So why don't you walk through the details? I think everyone's already read about it. KD is going to Houston Rockets, and based on everything I'm reading about it and everything you're reading about it, just walk through the details and what does it look like for Houston?
Yeah, I mean it's fresh. I haven't spent a lot of time diving into it, but we wanted to provide some instant analysis and reaction. So it's the deal is Durant to the Rockets. Suns get Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, and the number 10 pick in this year's draft, along with 5 second-round picks, which, if I read correctly, are mostly towards the lower end of the second round. So, I think you're glad you got a number 1 pick, a lottery pick in this year's draft. I think that's some silver lining.
Let's focus on Houston. You're just going to get me angry. Houston ends up with KD.
We'll start with Houston.
And what they get rid of, again, in looking at Bain's trade, like if you look at what they got rid of, 5 second-round picks.
Yes.
Which will be late. And unless the Suns are great at getting second-round pick, they aren't. Okay, so that's not really a lot to worry about. They get rid of this year's number 1, which you could argue isn't going to help them one way or the other.
Where was the number 1 draft pick on Houston playing this year?
I'm not on the bench.
Exactly. They had their number 2 or 3 overall pick, whatever it was last year, sit on the bench this entire season.
And they get rid of Brooks, who
he's a good role player. I mean,
in my opinion, he's overstayed his welcome every place he goes. He's fun for a bit, and then after a while, it's like, and you didn't beat Golden State with him talking and doing everything that he did. So again, bye-bye. He left Memphis the same reason.
He's one of those guys that like you talk yourself into thinking like he's a key piece of a winning team. But then, like, you trade him and you win just as many games, and he's kind of interchangeable. So
you don't lose much with that.
Yeah.
And then Green, Houston already has players. Like, Green didn't show up in the playoffs at times, and they didn't. It wasn't terrible.
And you're taking KD over Green
every day of the week.
100 out of 100 times. So
I think if I'm Houston, here's what I'm looking at from my perspective. You have to game manage KD. KD on the Suns got injured both years he played, and one time it was right before the playoffs, warming up, hurting his ankle. To me, he is a fine wine. He should play no back-to-backs. He should be completely game managed all the way to the playoffs. You have him for the playoffs. They beat Golden State. If this trade happens before the playoffs last year, they beat Golden State. Do you agree with that?
I totally agree. And we said it before early on that KD is a closer. He will be a great closer for a playoff team. So protect him and let him be the closer in the playoffs. And they've got enough horses to make it work until he can, they can just say, all right, KD, you're going all out.
They didn't lose any of their horses.
Yeah.
They didn't. When we mapped this trade out, we thought the Suns would get one of their better players.
Right.
Green was not one of their better players. I'm sorry. Nope. So the Suns end up with Green, who has a larger contract. They have Brooks, who, take it or leave it, is what he is. He's like Green at this point in his career, just like Green and Brooks play one-on-one on that one-on-one special with Beasley or whatever. Nobody's going to care. They'll end up punching each other, whatever. So the Houston gave up, in my opinion, very, very little to add an elite talent in the playoffs, where the Suns gave up to get Durant a lot. So if the grand scheme of this, BadderSports was created because of a mantra. And in stock world, everyone will understand this. Buy high, sell low is what sports teams do, especially sports teams that are not on the verge of making it to the next round. This trade for the Suns says we're not competitive. When Memphis traded Bane, they said we're not competitive. That's what it says to me. The Suns traded KD because KD wanted the trade. So KD wanted to go to Houston, so they made that happen. Miami wasn't willing to give up players. Houston wasn't willing to give up players for KD. Everybody knows what KD is. So the Suns agreed with Houston. KD's happier. Best of luck to you, KD. The Suns and Memphis, in my opinion, took a step back, and the Suns took a way step back. They got second-round picks, first-round pick this year. Fantastic. It's going to be a guy. Maybe they get really lucky. Someone falls to them. I mean, come on. Like,
Yeah.
I just 10th. You're not going to do a lot with that. So, to me, if you're going to grade this out, Houston's got to get A pluses, right? From a BadderSports perspective, like if I'm Houston and I'm looking at this, you got Kevin Durant for not a lot.
Not a lot. No, and they still have draft picks in the war chest to use for future moves. They still got a lot of young guys. I mean, again, they were able to not trade their rookie point guard, who's very highly touted, who didn't even play. Right? I mean, they could have looked at it. Houston could have looked at it like Reed Shepherd did not play for us this year. So let's trade him. Okay, if he becomes a superstar, fine. But we did great without him. And now, oh, by the way, we're adding KD. But they keep him. They get to keep Reed Shepherd and let him grow and be a backup for now, and potentially, the heir apparent to Van Vliet when he's gone.
So Houston finished second last year in the playoffs, and we're looking at where they are in the Western Conference. I don't think that hurts their position. They're still an aggressive. And oh, by the way, they have a really good coach.
They do have a good coach.
And
who just got a really nice new shiny toy to play with.
And if you're going to say to me, he came from the Boston family. He's an excellent coach. So to me, I'm like, it's your God in heaven. So Houston's in the playoffs. We both agree on that. This does not change their position. Are they a top 4 team? Hands down, in my opinion, they are.
I think they are. And just wait. I mean, this is only the beginning. This trade can't even become official until July 6th. And that's when free agency starts. Oh. KD will be talking to all his friends around the league, whoever, all those veterans that are on, looking to go to a contender and sign for the veterans minimum. They'll add some more pieces too. You'll see.
So Houston, we give top marks. We both agree. Houston, hands down, you are making a push. This tells me Houston wants to win today. You can't win tomorrow with KD. He's not going to be like on the San Antonio project. So by San Antonio, by Minnesota. So the Suns, let's look at it from a Suns perspective. Before we did this, you can watch our KD video. I wanted draft picks. We had no draft picks. So we got 5 second-round draft picks. I should have probably been a little more clear, but I thought I was. Right. We wanted 2 to 3 first-round draft picks, especially after Bane.
I really thought they'd at least get like one of their old picks out of this deal.
You just get one for this year, which to me, this tells me that they're not done. This also tells me by not dealing with Minnesota, so KD didn't want the pressure that we both talked about. That's why he's in Houston. KD would have been, you have to go make the finals. Houston is going to be very happy getting to the Western Conference Finals with this team. Mm-hmm. And KD can be the closer. Like we both said, you need a shot, he'll hit it, you'll win. Everyone's happy.
And you know what? Houston's the type of team that, they've got a great defenders, and they got a good coach, and they're young and they can run. Maybe like KD's the kind of killer that can help them compete with an OKC. Maybe he can help them put away an OKC. Who knows?
The Suns didn't get anybody on the interior. They lose a small forward, power forward, more of a small forward. So you have Brooks, who's a small forward, power forward defender.
Yeah, kind of a tweener.
Green, who's a point guard.
I don't like that fit in the backcourt.
You have Beal and Booker. Just so everyone knows, all we have is perimeter shooters, but we're not Boston.
No,
we're not. We're not shooting 40% from 3. They have Allen. Again, if you look at the smorgasbord of what the Suns have, they're not done. They can't be done. I think that this is Project Blow Up. And this is the first step to that. And I would not be shocked if Booker has come out and said, tired of not being part of a winner and where we're going to go. The owner's like, I want championships. You just took a step back. You didn't make the playoffs this year. You didn't make the play-in. Didn't make top 10.
Yeah.
So you're telling me this move makes them top 10? No, it doesn't.
No.
Does this move lead me to believe that they're not trying to get in the playoffs next year? I think that's what it says to me as a Suns fan, because you got to trade more pieces here.
The only thing is that they have very few draft picks going forward. So to not be good doesn't really help them, because then they're like, they're having bad years where they're not getting any high lottery picks to in exchange for it. I don't know. I think so I'll say this, and I know you like to joke around that I'm the NBA insider. I'm not an insider. I've got no sources, but reading the tea leaves, the mixed messaging came out. First, it was like Suns are going to look to flip Green for another player, and then it was like, no, Suns like Green. I don't like that fit. I don't think it really works with Green and Booker. To me, they're both better off playing off ball. They're both better off with a facilitator. And here's the deal. I'm not necessarily going to say that Phoenix is like actively looking for Booker deals, but you have to believe that after this trade and the return that they got for it, that Phoenix is like, okay, we'll listen. What do you got for Booker? What can you do for Booker? And if they get something worthwhile, they're going to pull the trigger on that. I have to believe that, because that Western Conference is too big of an uphill climb with the roster they have now.
And they'll give Beal away for anything.
And maybe that's the way they get rid of Beal. Okay, you don't want to go, Bradley? All right, well, we're trading Durant and we're trading Booker, and we're going to have nobody.
I'm just going to disagree with you. He was very content on Washington. He signed with Washington and made a no-trade deal in Washington. So everyone wants to sit there and say, well, he wanted to win on the Suns. I've watched his interviews. I watched how often he's hurt. He's pretty happy making $50+ million.
And not doing much for it.
I mean, this is the reality of the NBA. There are the players who push themselves to be great.
Unless he's daring them to just buy him out so that he can go and sign on with a contender for nothing, for pennies.
I have to think, like, this is how bad of a contract his deal is. Simmons, everyone knows how bad that deal was. Yeah. They've been literally every single team has paid him. I think he's been on every team since he signed that deal. Can't shoot. He was this great talent who's done nothing. Beal, to me, this contract is on the same surface as Simmons. It's that bad, because I don't know a single time I've watched him on the Suns or Washington, because Washington never wins, where I was like, man, he was really great. He really helped us win that game. There's not a single thing. Yeah. Defense, offense, like, he may get hot, give you 18, then he disappears, then he's gone, then he's injured. So, like, when I look at the Suns and what they have made, and I know, God bless this new coach, the biggest problem that
what is that poor guy walking into right now?
Well, everybody, he's an ambulance chaser. What can we say? If you look at what they had, and again, go back to the post-COVID series, they're in the finals. Like, this is not that far ago.
It's not that long ago at all.
They had Chris Paul, they had Booker, they have Ayton.
Yeah.
They have the guy. They had this team, and they're in the finals.
Bridges, Johnson, well-rounded team, man.
And then what did they do? They traded Bridges, they traded Johnson, buy Ayton, Booker's still there. So Booker's the only one left, and everyone's like, "Well, he's a staple for the Suns." No one is a staple for anything, because at the end of the day, I don't know. Even if Booker gives you 30 a night, which he can. He's really excellent. He is. He is in his prime. He can
And
draw.
that's why it's not crazy to think some team is going to come and blow them away for a deal with Booker, and you might
If
might
you're
make
on,
it feel better.
if you're on the Eastern Conference and you can give the Suns have a lot of needs, everybody. But this trade for the Suns, I mean, I'm sorry. I know nobody knows what else everybody was offering, and there wasn't a whole lot on the table. And the Suns were going to get rid of KD, so you can say, okay, well, you get what you get. This is what it is. But if you look at it from that series against Milwaukee up 2-0, lose that series, fans are crying, we're upset, to where we were at, adding KD, adding Beal, telling everybody we're going to be it, we're going to make it. And you never got even into the second round, and you weren't even in the playing game this year. Like this has been an absolute barn fire, just like that just happened there. So this is just like there's not a lot of words to describe the disappointment of where it's going, but I don't know a way out. And to your point, it's not like they have picks. If they go really bad, they get their picks.
Yeah, like if they were really like if they had all their picks, I'd be like it's a no-brainer. You just got to just blow it up, be bad for a couple years, get those high lottery picks and build back up that way. Teams have done it and done it pretty quickly, like see Houston for example. So but they don't have any of those picks. So if it's like they're bad, like what are they bad for?
And the pick they have this year, it's not like a 1, it's not like a 2 or 3. You're not guaranteed anything.
And that's why I was hoping that like they would get like a Jabari Smith out of Houston if they made that trade, or if they did make a trade with Minnesota, if KD wasn't so stubborn and would have, at least they would have got maybe like a Julius Randle out of the deal, and you could have said, all right, it gives us a fighting chance.
Does it feel to you? I mean, I'm in Phoenix, and no one wants to believe that they're giving up. And maybe it's just the way that I look at it. When you look at the Suns after this trade, do you feel like, obviously you don't think they're done with trading, but do you feel like they're kind of like taking a left turn off the freeway here?
Totally.
Like you don't, like you're not better after this trade. And I know KD's an elite talent, so
I'm trying to think of the right analogy. They made a big mistake when they signed Beal. It wasn't the Durant trade necessarily. Booker, Durant, and forget it. Don't make that deal for Beal. Like put other pieces around Booker and Durant, and you got yourself a really good team. But they didn't. They were probably because of KD. That's what's crazy. They probably made that trade because they wanted to please him and put another superstar in there, quote unquote superstar. But it feels like they're a car that got into an accident, and they're just they just veered off into like the crummiest mechanic shop that they could find, and they're gonna they're not really gonna help. They're not gonna really get much better from this. Like they're gonna come out of that shop still sputtering.
If this again, we both have said this. The KD trade is like the first piece to happen, and then all these other trades are going to start to occur, and we get to react to them.
I do think they'll happen after the finals, but
well, we have one more game left.
Did you see that they kind of Durant was at that Fanatics Fest in New York City, and they announced it to him there. Like the crowd started reacting. He was being interviewed, and the news was breaking as he was on stage. It was so obviously a put on. Like they probably had this deal agreed on days ago, and we're like, oh yeah, let's pretend like the news is breaking while Kevin Durant is on stage at Fanatics Fest. It was bad.
That again, it can be whatever it can be. I just don't have as a Suns fan. It's just we're in such a bad place, and it's not just that we're in a bad place. Like I know we're not Memphis. We could be worse. Phoenix is a good location. It's a good place for players to play. The fans treat the players great. They always have.
Generally, as long as the Suns are somewhat good, they're a destination that players like to go to.
So, I mean, I know Barkley always jokes about my Suns because he played for him. Like the 76ers and Suns, but the 76ers and the Suns are both in a bad spot. And I remember with Chris Paul, he was getting like $40 million. He was older. I was like, this is not the best of deals if you were to look at deals. But to your point, they had a complete team, something that shocking both teams in the finals have. Shocking development. So when I look at what the Suns have and what they need interior. They need depth on the interior. They don't have
and
that.
They need a point guard.
I don't disagree with you. The one-on-one jump shooters that they have, they just keep getting more of those. Like if Steve Nash wants to show up, that's what
I don't think
need.
it's an accident that the year that they went to the finals, they had an all-time great point guard on their team.
And I also don't think it's an accident that he didn't win it because he hasn't.
Right.
And again, he turned the ball over at a crucial time and so on and so
forth. He
but
was on his way down.
But if you were to say, what would you prefer as a Suns fan? I prefer to have a team. And right now we have a bunch of really good players, been a new coach, God bless them. And what are you going to be? Because again, you're going to run the triangle offense. What are we going to run?
I think we'll be talking about some serious roster turnover in Phoenix over the course of the summer.
I don't disagree with you. I give this trade a really poor grade for the Suns right now. We know it's not done, but the second round picks they have don't attract anything. They need more first round picks. We'll see if they can get those. The only piece that I think they can have to offer now is, I would say, Green you have to offer. And now you have Booker, and nobody wants to offer Booker. So maybe this is a Green flip. And again, I don't buy any of the chatter. It's like whenever something's happening politically and everyone's like, I have the inside scoop, or I really like this player, I don't buy any of that. They just got him. So they can say they really like him because they don't want to say we're trying to trade him and get a bad trade. So they can, we really love Green. He's going to be our core. Oh, you want to give us 2 picks? And okay, yeah, you can have Green. We're over it. So the Suns need to make more moves. Houston, congratulations. You got a lot stronger.
Absolutely.
A lot stronger. That's the what is it called? The instant meal, as we all refer to in society now. Everybody wants everything instantaneously.
Yeah,
well, Houston, you got it.
They got a real real injection into their lineup there.
So now the question to the Houston Rockets is, can he stay healthy? And will he be there when they need him most in the playoffs?
That's the only thing that makes this bad for the Rockets. If Durant gets injured again early next season, or if he, father time catches up with him quicker than expected, then it kind of stinks. But at the same time, they did not give up a whole lot. Like, it's not like they cleared their stash of picks for him or gutted the team of every young asset they had.
And to your point, watch what comes with him.
Exactly.
It's not like Green and Brooks are bringing people. That's the other thing about Brooks. It's like, what do we got? We got somebody that people like if you're on a contender. Like if he's on Boston, okay, you want to make people mad?
That's another player that Phoenix might look to flip because a contender can talk themselves into like a Dylan Brooks toughness element into our lineup is exactly what we need, or something like that.
It's funny because Houston has the Suns picks that they did not give them back. So, and in a way, they made Phoenix worse to give themselves better picks.
Yeah.
Like in all reality. Because the team, if nothing happens, which we both believe something will, that the teams are the way they are, they're not making the play-in with this team.
Yeah. No.
Not in the Western Conference. They're under 500 with this team.
No, not. And you know what? I don't know how serious the Spurs were, but they're going to do something. I just get the feeling they're going to do something.
They're either believing that they have the team that's going to contend for a long time and they do nothing because of the 2 draft picks and because of the rookies that they have and because of Wemby, and they're just going to build this solid core and then just grow with it, or they do something to propel them. But again, San Antonio is smartly going to make the playoffs now consistently for a long time.
Even if they don't make a big time move, they may just, be a playoff contender because they're going to have year 2 of Fox and Wemby together.
Again, this Western Conference is loaded. Houston got better. Beast. And, we'll see how it plays out. But Suns, I would say right now it's an F. And Houston, I would say right now it's an A, and that's just the way it looks.
Yep. Agreed. Sorry to say.
So subscribe, comment. This is it. This is the KD reaction. As a Suns fan, it's not looking very sunny. It's looking like we need to go to Seattle. This is bad. I don't even know. I tried to make this look good when I was thinking about it. I'm like, but to your point, it's not like we get picks for being bad either. So
right,
this is the mess we're in.
Hopefully there's more to talk about that'll change your attitude a little bit by the end of the summer.
I can tell you, I want to save that clip of the owner going, I want to bring championships with an S. Like, we have none.
Yeah.
We would like one.
Let's start with one, right?
Start like to you. Let's get to the finals for the Knicks, right? Let's stop talking about the Eastern Conference Finals.
Exactly.
All right, everybody. That's Nolan. I'm Brendan, and I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and we'd like to hear your comments. Thanks, everybody.
Take care, guys.